Good morning, and this morning our reflection comes from familiar surroundings. We're here next to Renfrew North Parish Church, and hopefully in a few weeks' time we'll be able to come back here again and worship God together. In the meantime, we have our weekly reflections, different locations around Renfrew. Last week you will have heard me talk about the story of Jesus having that barbecue with his disciples next to Lake Galilee. And also at the end of that reflection I invited you to upload any creative representations you may have had of that story. And I'd like to thank Aileen for her contribution. If you haven't been to the Facebook posts, have a look under comments and you'll see Aileen's wonderful representation of Jesus next to the fire with the large number of fish gathered by the Lake Galilee. This morning we're going to look at another story, another Easter story. And this time it's to do with two disciples who were out walking. They had been part of all that had been going on over that Easter weekend. They'd known what had happened, and they found themselves walking and discussing and trying to work out what had gone on. And we come to the story partway through. Jesus turns up, starts walking with them, and asks them, "What is it that you're talking about? You're so intense in your discussions. What's going on?" They just stood there, long-faced, like they had lost their best friend. Then one of them, his name was Cleopas, said, "Are you the only one in Jerusalem who hasn't heard what's happened during the last few days?" He said, "What has happened?" They said, "The things that happened to Jesus, the Nazarene. He was a man of God, a prophet, dynamic in work and word, blessed by both God and all the people. Then our high priests and leaders betrayed him. They got him sentenced to death and crucified him. And we had our hopes up that he was the one about to deliver Israel. And it's now the third day since it happened. But now some of our women have completely confused us. Early this morning they were at the tomb and they couldn't find his body. They came back with the story that they had seen a vision of angels who said he was alive. And some of our friends went off to the tomb to check and found it empty, just as the women said. But they didn't see Jesus." Then he said to them, "Why can't you simply believe all that the prophets said? Don't you see that these things had to happen? That the Messiah had to suffer and only then enter into his glory?" Then he started at the beginning with the books of Moses, went through the prophets, pointing out everything in the scriptures that referred to him. They came to the edge of the village where they were headed, and he acted as if he were going on, but they pressed him, "Stay and have supper with us. It's nearly evening. The day is done." So he went in with them, and here is what happened. He sat down at the table with them, and taking the bread, he blessed and broke and gave it to them. And at that moment, open-eyed, wide-eyed, they recognized him, and then he disappeared. Back and forth they talked. "Didn't we feel on fire as he conversed with us on the road, as he opened up the scriptures to us?" One of the amazing parts of that reading is not just the fact that Jesus revealed himself when he broke the bread and they shared the wine together, much as Jesus does when he reveals himself to us when we celebrate the sacrament of Holy Communion. But more than that, it was as they were walking along the road that they remembered in hindsight, as they were walking along the road with Jesus, he was able to reveal to them all about himself. They said to themselves, "Weren't our hearts burning? Weren't we excited when he was walking with us and telling us about what the scriptures meant?" I hope and I think that during our journey with Jesus, as we walk with Jesus Christ, that our hearts burn, that our minds are opened as we discover the scriptures with him. It's a wonderful thing, just walking through life with Jesus and knowing that not only can Jesus reveal those truths to us, but as we walk alongside him, we will know that he is with us through the difficult times that we're having at the moment. Maybe it's through knowing that friends or family are being affected by the coronavirus, or the many ways in which this is affecting lives at the moment. We will know that through it all, Jesus is with us. On Thursdays, you will have noticed on the Facebook page that we've posted some reflections that you can do whilst going out for your daily exercise when you're walking, whether it's in the garden or around the streets or in the park. I would invite you, encourage you to look at that post to see what it is that we can notice around us on our walk, the things that we can reflect upon, the people and the situations that we can pray about. So please do have a look at that and let it encourage you to engage with the surroundings and engage with God and with Jesus as you are walking or exercising or perhaps just reflecting and meditating. I'd also like you to be encouraged by the prayer that's going on through the church. There are many people that are praying for all of our members and friends and things happening in the parish. But I'd also like to invite you to be part of the prayer that goes on at 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening. So tonight, join with others throughout the nation as we pray together. And I'd also like you to remember in your prayers one of our elders who passed away this week, Fergus Speed. We give thanks to God for his work and pray that God will be with his widow Janet through this time. So please do remember to pray for yourselves, your families, and for others. Prayer holds us up and helps us as we journey with Jesus Christ.